What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Some commentary for you. Want to talk about real-time injuries in Madden. This picture here, actually, if you go out and you Google just Madden injuries, it's interesting. This is the first image that comes up. It's from a video I did last year, which kind of gives you some perspective as to how long we've been asking for this in games. And I saw a lot of people's wish list for Connected Franchise. Since you hear these reports, you hear the interviews, they kind of send a different message. In one way, we're being led to believe that franchise is getting a return this year. In other ways, we're kind of being led to believe through the interview with Carlos that we're not. But I think one of the most important things is real-time injuries. I mean, this play here did not result in an injury to the halfback. And it's so critical that what we see on the field matches what we see off the field that it's often overlooked. I mean, we still have a game that's going through and randomly using an algorithm to pinpoint when a player will get hurt on a certain play. And I realize that the NFL has a couple stipulations that EA must follow, but I feel like if you're a creative thinker, and you should be by all means if you're working on a video game, you have to think through the challenges or the obstacles or think out of the box that they give you. Okay, no one is sitting in the community saying, I want career-ending injuries. No one in the community is saying, I want concussions with realistic impact on players as they mentally grow throughout the game. No one's saying that. For example, I would just be happy if a player slipped on a play, had an ankle sprain, missed the rest of the game or just a few plays of the game depending on the time frame the injury happens, and then, if you want to go that extra mile, when they come back out on the field, have their ankle taped up. I want when a player has an eye injury that he has to wear a visor. Now, if you don't want to take that a step further and have it impact the ratings, then that's okay. But if we're talking about simulation and franchise, I think one of the most ignored things is the way Madden has handled its injuries. Because it's not consistent from on-field to off-field, and it really is one of those things that could impact every single play every single time. And it's a gray area because we all should understand, no one is ever going to be totally happy, okay? There's always going to be people that say there's too many injuries, there's not enough injuries. I played a season, 20 players got hurt, another team had 2. There's always going to be those inconsistencies because it's not an exact science. I mean, you could theoretically have a whole team get hurt and then another team not have any injuries at all. But I think to get to a starting point where we can have that discussion, then we need to have a starting point of where the injuries are at least consistent. And right now, I think maybe injuries could be the most inconsistent thing in Madden. I mean, we really don't know which way the ratings work on these as far as strength and speed and agility and how they impact the player's ability to get hurt. As far as we know, it's an algorithm that dictates what play a player will be hurt on, and then on that play an injury will occur. The player may even be irrelevant to it. A lot of times players' injuries don't even specify to the position that they were playing or the activity that they were doing, whether it was blocking, running, or catching. But again, if we're going to talk about strides in connected franchise, we're talking about making franchise great. I think injuries are one of the biggest things and most overlooked things that should be impacting the game in a way that they don't. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out, and you know that I'll be back in the week with more commentary.